Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Kai, and today I have a little bit of a different video for you. This one is going to be all about how I design my nail sets. So often in my design videos, I will show you guys my inspo board, my design board before I go into the tutorial for how I do nails. And so I do get questions sometimes on what program I use to design with, where I get my templates and all of that good stuff. So I thought today I would sit down and show you my entire process from start to finish when it comes to designing a nail set. I'm going to be talking about the equipment I use for designing, the program I use, which is Procreate. It will be a little mini tutorial on Procreate. Also where I get inspiration from, the templates I use, and just how I put together a design board in general. And then I also wanted to talk just a little bit about my design philosophy when it comes to how I approach a nail design. So if all of that sounds good to you, please continue watching. Please consider subscribing if you like nail art tutorials, nail hauls, and all of that sort of good stuff. But without too much more chit-chatting, let's get into the video. Okay, so I wanted to start by talking about the equipment that I use. So I am currently using an iPad Air. This is the newer version with the M3 chip. It is an 11-inch, and I have the 256 gig version. Honestly, if I had a do-over, I probably would have purchased the 500 gig version just for that extra $100. This one I believe was about $600 when I got it on sale, and I think you can still get it for that price on Amazon. I will link it down below. I actually started on a cheaper Samsung tablet, but I really wanted to get into Procreate, which is the program that I'll be covering most for this video. I used to do digital art on Photoshop, and when Procreate came out, a lot of digital artists shifted to that program, and it is quite similar to Photoshop, so it was just easily accessible for me to start learning. The only downside to Procreate is that it is an Apple-specific software, so you cannot get it on like a Galaxy tablet or any other sort of tablet, so I did end up splurging. I bought myself an iPad, and honestly, I am quite happy with it. I can also edit on it, which is why I wish I'd gotten the one with a little bit more storage space. But overall, I am very satisfied, so I do recommend an iPad for designing if you're going to be doing it digitally. And then in other equipment, I do also have the Pro Pencil. Now, you don't necessarily need the Pro Pencil. I personally got it just because I want to be able to do digital art with it too. And so I felt it was worth it. The Pro Pencil, the biggest difference is it has like pressure sensitivity capabilities, which just opens up a lot of different doors for artistic mediums on the iPad. If you are just starting off, I would not necessarily recommend jumping straight into a Pro Pencil. You can get a nice semi-cheap stylus, but if you are somebody who thinks that you are really going to get into digital art and you really want to take your designs far on iPad, then I would recommend the Pro Pencil. And then this is kind of just a silly little thing, but this is the stand I have. I got it off of Amazon. I think it was like 11 bucks, but it is solid metal. It's super sturdy, and it has a wide range of motion to it. So you can rest your iPad right on here. It's got like non-slip pads on the bottom, and I can have my iPad tilted to a wide variety of degrees. So I find it really nice for using on top of my desk for drawing with. So yeah, I would recommend getting an external stand as well, just for comfortability. Okay, so that was all the equipment. Before I get into actually using it, I did want to talk just a little bit about design philosophy. So when I approach a design, I find inspiration anywhere. Honestly, clothing, from photography online, from my little figurines that I like collecting. If you haven't noticed in the background, I'm a big like pop art fan. So I'll get inspiration from new figures. I love getting inspiration from music videos, video games, movies, all sorts of different IPs. I tend to consume just a lot of media in general, so whenever I find something that inspires me, I will try to note it in either my notes app on my phone, or if it's on Instagram, or if I'm scrolling anywhere where I can save a picture, I'll just go ahead and save it. And so that is usually the basis of a design. And then when it comes to actually designing the nails, I try to work in a rule of twos. So I'm trying to push myself to include more colors in a set. So I will go with at least 2 different colors. Obviously, the more the merrier that I can fit in, but 2 different colors, 2 different textures. So by that I mean a syrup gel plus a shimmer gel, or maybe a glitter gel plus a cat eye gel. Any sort of combination, I want at least 2 different textures in a design. And then if I include a design element on a nail, say a bow, say a fabric texture, or a specific shape, I will try to incorporate that in at least 2 of the nails in the design, and that just helps with cohesion. Now my rule of 2s is a minimum, so if I can, I'll work in, 3 different colors, even 4. If possible, I'll integrate an element into 3 nails. So for example, this is one of my favorite designs. It is loosely based on like Sailor Moon, but more of an elegant approach rather than like a cartoon approach. And so if you notice, I have at least 2 different types of polish. I used both a syrup gel and then a glitter, and I was able to work that glitter into every nail. Same with the syrup polish. I also have some white accents on the middle finger and the ring finger for the wings and the moon, again just to build continuity. I have 3 nails that all feature chrome designs, so the pinky, the middle, and the pointer finger. And then I also have 3 different nails that have handmade charms on them, and then within those handmade charms I tried to stick to the same color scheme, so pink, green, and white. I've got green accents, just little ones on 2 of the nails. So again, working within that rule of trying to have at least 2 nails, have some matching design elements throughout the set, multiple colors and multiple textures. And then I love 3D, so when it comes to 3D, I try to incorporate 3D on at least 2 of the nails. Here is another design of mine that is in a little bit of a different style, but still I try to follow those same rules. So in this case, I actually got a little bit lazy and I did 2 of the nails exactly the same. I find that's a really good way to simplify a design, is having 2 of the nails the same and then 3 accent nails. If I do it that way, I'll try to spice up the set a little bit by making those 3 accent nails a different color than the 2 nails that are the same color, the same pattern exactly. And just personally, I tend to do like the pinky and the pointer finger as the exact same nails, just because I find the other fingers you have a little bit more room to work with. So you can do fun 3D or more intricate designs on those nails. Here's one more set where I did that same thing, where I have the matching nails for the pointer and the pinky finger, and then the other nails are accent nails. If you are going to be incorporating similar elements, so for example, here I have like the painted flowers on the thumb and the middle finger, I will try to spread them apart so they aren't right next to each other on the design. That way you have enough variation. Honestly, designing can get very tricky, and that's just because I personally like spending a lot of time really trying to refine how the nail set looks cohesively as a whole. You do not by any means have to follow these rules. These are just rules that I personally have made for myself just to help me guide my own creative process. I really enjoy design and aesthetics, so it's something that I don't mind spending a lot of time on. I very much envy people who can go in and just like start a design from scratch with no pre-planning, no nothing. That is a skill that I would love to have one day. And honestly, I could go on and on about design philosophy. I love talking about it, but before I talk too much, let's go ahead and actually jump into Procreate and look at the basics there. Okay, so now let's talk the basics of Procreate. So I have a content folder here on my tablet. It includes all of my content programs. So I have Procreate right here, and I'm just going to start a new canvas. For now, I'm just going to do screen size just to show you kind of like the basics. So this is what it'll look like when you open up a blank canvas. So up here are the 4 main tools that you'll be using all of the time. You have your color selector. You can do different types of color displays. You can do the disc, where you have your rainbow option here. The classic mode is where I tend to leave mine so that I can pick the different shades of color. You have your history down here so that you can see colors that you have previously used. So you can just tap on a color that you previously used to select it. And then if you want to eyedropper a color from the canvas itself, you just take one finger, tap it on the canvas until your color wheel shows up, and it will automatically change it to that color. So that's your color wheel. The second option up here is where you find your layers, and this will be very important once you get a template and we start working in there. And then I prefer to work on a layer on top of the background color. Generally, my files have a lot of different layers just because I like keeping something separate. Next to that, you have your eraser tool. You tap on this to pick the shape of eraser that you would like to use. Pretty basic. This section over here is where you can see all of your different pen shapes. Next to that, you have your smudge tool, which you can also pick a specific shape for. What that does is it just allows you to blend together paint or colors that are already on the canvas. I don't tend to use this very often for nail art specifically. This would probably be a little bit more useful for digital art in general. So I'm not using the smudge tool much, but it is there. And then the last tool is probably our most important. This is our brush. Now, I'm not going to go too deeply into brushes because there's just so much that you can learn about brushes. But what I will say is it might be worth it to invest in downloading some brushes. So when it comes to Procreate, you get basic brushes. So all of these here that have the icons, like the dropper or the pencil, these are all preloaded brushes in Procreate. These other ones here that have this little squiggle, the Procreate logo, are brush packs that I personally have downloaded. So the brushes that the program comes with are good, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of them that you can use for different textures and for different shapes and finishes. You even have some organic ones here that you can work with. There are brushes that I've downloaded just for specific decor. So for example, I've downloaded a chain brush and this one was free. You can buy brush packs and they tend to be a little higher quality. So I'm going to change the color to like a gold color. I have my chain selection here. I'm going to boost my size up so you can see. And then I can use this to really easily draw out a chain without needing to go in and specifically draw each link. I did the same thing and found a lace trim pack. So this pack allows me to easily draw lace, which is something that I often incorporate in a nail design. There are actually some Procreate packages out there that specifically are brushes for nail techs. They come with like bow charms, rhinestones, all of those sorts of things. I haven't really looked into that yet, but it's definitely an option. So that is one of the reasons I like Procreate, because there is so much you can do in terms of brushes. Now, speaking of brushes, these two sliders over here are very important. This is your size slider, so you can make them bigger over here, and then your opacity slider. So if you lower the opacity, your brush strokes will be more see-through. If you raise the opacity, they will be more bold. And you can adjust the eraser as well. So you can lower the opacity on the eraser and just erase like a little bit of the color, or you can make it fully opaque to where you erase all of the pigment on that layer. Now, one of the reasons to have a Pro Pencil is to be able to do a little bit more with your brushes. So if you go into a brush, I'm just gonna go to my basic untitled round brush, and you tap on the brush itself, you get all of these different settings. Now, I'm not gonna go over all of these because it would take a very long time for one, but I will show you at least the stabilization and the taper. Now, with stabilization, this is going to affect how smooth your lines are. So I currently have the stabilization on 26%, which means when I draw a line, see how fairly smooth that is? That is not because I have a really steady hand, that's because the program is automatically smoothing out those curves. If I lower this stabilization, my lines are going to be less fluid and more organic. So it's going to pick up the little slight jitters of my hand, of my actual movement, versus if I bump up the stabilization, I'm going to get very smooth curves. So that's just something that you might potentially play around with. And then the only other thing I will talk about is the taper. So this is why it is kind of nice to have the Pro Pencil. With the Pro Pencil, what it does is it measures the pressure you put on the iPad, how hard you're pressing down, and you can use this to your advantage by turning on the taper. And what this will do is it means if you lighten your stroke at the end, it will taper out to like a point so that you get kind of like a natural shape as if you were using a brush or something like that. You can adjust how much it will taper by adjusting the size. So here you'll see at 60% it doesn't come to quite as fine of a point, whereas at a max, it'll come to a nice point. You can adjust the pressure so that it takes more or less pressure to come to that point. I will also turn down the opacity so that when I press lightly, I have a more see-through line versus when I press down harder, you get more of that opaque line. And this is just nice for drawing things like leaves. Like I can easily get like a petal shape or a leaf shape, almost like you would regularly paint on your nail. So I personally do like using the stabilization and the taper options, but again, there's so much that you could go into here with brushes. You can make your own brushes in Procreate. Honestly, so much to learn. I just want to cover the basics for you. So that's your options up here, your sidebar options. When it comes to these options up on the left-hand side, the first is the move tool. So this allows you to move your drawing around, a specific part of your drawing, basically whatever layer you're on. You can transform with this arrow. You can make it smaller, bigger, you can rotate it. You can also grab the top green button here and rotate it manually. You can flip it on its axes. You can distort it. Change the angle of it. You can warp it. So there's a lot of options here for adjusting a shape, a layer. That's going to be under that arrow tool. Up here is your masking tool so that you can mask out parts of a layer. So say I only wanted to adjust the bottom part of this layer, I can freehand draw around it, and then I can go back to our move tool. And now I'm just adjusting this bottom part. It's separate now from the rest. So the second tool here is a really good way to isolate parts of a design. I'll show you how I use it when I do nail designing. This tool here, honestly, don't worry about it if you're just getting started. This is adjustments for things like color, for brightness. You can do different blur effects. Again, I wouldn't worry about that one as you're just getting started. And then this last tool here is important. This is basically how you do your different functions. So you can insert files, photos, add text, copy, cut, do things like that, adjust your preferences. So that's kind of like your actions menu. And then to go back to your gallery, you simply tap gallery, and this will take you back to all of your saved projects. So now that we have the basics down, let's go ahead and jump right into a nail design. So I also just wanted to show you how I save inspiration pictures. So I mostly use Instagram. I do sometimes use Pinterest. So here's my account. What I tend to do is save albums. So I will go to my saved. And here I have everything that I've saved. And I will save things in collections. So you can see up here, I have my collections and then just all of the things I've saved down below. So I'm gonna go to my collections and just show you for every kind of like theme or nail design that I have an idea for, I will start a new collection. So I have a bunch of different options here, and I will just, as I'm scrolling through things, save things to various collections to use as inspiration later. I like this option because I can always go back and find the original poster, where I got the picture from, and give proper credit, things like that. So my most recent album that I made was for the Shima and Naga set that I'm designing today. And so here are just some little inspiration pictures. Again, I love taking inspo from everywhere. So this is a really amazing watercolor artist, Sarah Dandelion Cray. And so I saved her post. I want to do some magnetic plaid nails. So I just saved a post from Hey Great Nails. I know she's not the only person to do them, but she had a nice clear picture that I could take and save. And then of course I just saved a bunch of little Shima and Nagas, little images and videos that I can use as inspiration. I'm also considering doing some of these like really intricate lace designs. I don't know, we'll see if I can fit this in, but it just feels very like wintry to me, this white lace. Another cute little watercolor that I thought would be fun to do, like a little wreath with the Shima and Naga on the inside. So yeah, I really try to pull inspiration from everywhere. If you look at some of my collections, for example, I have food saved, and not only is this food that I want to eat, but it's also food that I think would be really cute to inspire a nail set with. So little baked goods like this, which actually are polymer clay in the first place. But I will just save anything and everything that I think aesthetically looks pleasing. Eventually I want to do a Pokemon set. And yeah, I just think collections on Instagram is a really great way to find inspiration, save inspiration, and be able to then reference it later so I can give proper attribution. Now, the reason that I use Instagram on my phone rather than on the tablet itself is just because on the tablet you can't actually save things straight to an album. So for example, if I'm scrolling and say I really like this design, I can tap the save and pick which collection I want it to go under. For some reason, the website on the tablet on the iPad, it's not very user-friendly. It doesn't allow you to do that. And quite frankly, the Instagram app on the iPad just sucks. I haven't had a lot of luck with it. So yeah, I prefer to just save my inspo on here, and then I will go over to the iPad and take my screenshots from there and import it into the design. So it's a little bit of a process, but that's just my workflow. If any of you have any suggestions on how to make this whole process easier, if you've found tricks for using Instagram on the iPad, either the web browser version or the app version, I am all ears because it is a little bit of a process. So speaking of which, let's hop over to the iPad and import my inspo pictures and get started on our design. Now you could start by just adding a project here, picking whatever size you would like. You might just do like standard screen size and then going in, and just like freehanding whatever it is that you want to draw. I personally like using a template to draw, and in fact, I did design and make all of my own templates. So I'm gonna go back to the gallery. I'm going to import from my iPad. So on my iPad, I have this folder here. Where is it? Right here, nail templates. And this is where I keep all of my PNGs for my nail templates. I made them, by the way, here in Procreate and partly in Canva. So I have my final drafts here. And for the set that I want to plan out today, I am torn. I want to possibly do 2 medium round hands or do 1 long claw hand. I'm going to start by designing the medium round. We'll see how that goes, if I want to continue with that or if I want to switch to the claw nails. I might just design both and have you all tell me in a poll after this comes out which one you would prefer seeing me make. So we'll start here with the medium round hands. That's this one here. I will tap this and it will import that as a PNG. Okay, so now I have this layer to work on. I did save my templates as PNGs specifically so that they are transparent. You can put them over any background color that you would like. I just have it set to white. And all of my templates are available for free if you would like to just check the Google Drive link in the description. Anybody can download them, use them. I just ask that if you do show them and use them, that you let people know where they can find them. But here's a template. I have both single hand and dual hands. So once I have my template all picked out, I'm going to give it a name. I always work on a separate layer than my outline. So I'm never working on my outline. I want to keep my template clean just in case I decide to move or change anything. So I'm always working on another layer. So I'm going to stick with black and I'm going to be using one of my inking pens, Shima Inaga, because that is the little animal that I am planning on using as inspo for the set. So now I am ready to import some inspiration pictures before I get started on the actual design. Now for the iPad, I don't know why the Instagram app kind of sucks. Instead, I actually just use the browser. I don't know. For me, it runs smoother. It fills the whole screen. I just find it a preferable experience. Funny story, I actually have a little Shima Inaga figurine here. I got this as a blind box from Kika Goods. It's a little dusty. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while. But he's so cute. He's a little messenger. I just think these little birds are so adorable. So if I want to save this picture, I'm just actually going to drag from the bottom corner up with my finger and it takes a screenshot. And now you can actually adjust this and crop it in the screenshot app before you save it. So I'm going to crop just the little bird here. And I want to save it to files. So I personally like saving it to files because what I'm going to do actually is go on my iPad and make a folder just for this design. So I'm going to name this folder Shima Naga. And then I will save this here. Okay, so I found some more inspo off camera because I feel like it was just taking too long to record the whole thing. But I want to do like some maybe little footprints in the snow. That would be really cute. I found an image of the glass nails that I was talking about with that like textured chrome look. And then perhaps some super intricate lace. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I end up with. But for now, I think I have enough. So I'm going to go ahead and import these into Procreate. So I'm just going to start inserting files. If you do them as pictures, it's actually easier. You can drag them on, but since I do the whole file system, it is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but that's okay. Where's my Shima and Naga? There we go. So I'm just gonna start importing them and putting them around my canvas. Okay, so now I have all my inspo pictures put into the document. Now, I do know that for a fact I'm going to be using Chrysonia's new shimmer palette for this look, so I am going to go back to the internet and I'm going to go to nary.com and I'm just going to actually screen capture her new palette because I want to use some of the colors from this. So I'm just going to take my little screenshot here. I'm going to insert my screenshot of the palette right over here. And then I'm thinking about other colors I'm going to want to use. Probably Yogurt Nail Black Cherry, I'm thinking. So let me do. So I'm going to write in here. So layer 2 is my writing layer. So I'm going to write in here that I want to use the Chris Winter Ice palette. I think I'm also going to want to use Yogurt Nail Korea's Black Cherry for some red details, and then probably also the forest color from the Vintage Film collection. I'll definitely be using the Divock White Canvas Gel, and perhaps the Gina paints, the oil nail paints, because I do want this design to be pretty like whimsical and artsy. Oh, I want colored pencils, and I want to use Chrysonia's new matte top and see if that works for colored pencil art. Just grab a few more color swatches. Yes, I'll probably end up using Deep Forest here. Okay, so I took a little bit of a break, but I am back now and ready to draw. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to my layers and I'm going to go to the background color and I'm just going to make it more of a gray tone. Because I'm going to be doing a white set, I don't want the background to be white. I want it to have something to contrast against. So I make that the background color, and then I'm going to add a layer right under my template layer. You just hit the plus button and I drag the layer. You can hold down on the layer and then drag it to change the order, but I want it right under my template. And I'm going to go up to the white color. I'm going to pick just like a standard round brush. And I'm just going to start filling this in. Now this layer, I am going to be very careful to fill in appropriately. Now I do think there is a way that you can kind of like automatically fill a shape in if you have line work already. I want to keep this layer separate from the line work layer, so I'm going to manually color all of these in. Okay, so now I have my base color done, and the purpose of this is to have a canvas to paint on. So I will keep this layer as it is. I won't touch it. I will add another layer on top, and then I will click the option that says clipping mask. Now what this does is anything that I paint now on top of that clipping mask will only paint within the area that this layer has already painted. So I can add whatever pattern I want. I can go in and do anything on top of this layer that has the clipping mask. I can even add another one. Do the same thing, clipping mask. And again, it will only paint over the top of that layer that I've already established. That way I don't have to be so careful with my lines. Okay, so now to establish what I want on each nail. So I know I want to do the Shima and Naga wreath on one of the thumbnails, I think. So let's start there. By the way, to move around your canvas, you want to use 2 fingers. You can twist and drag, zoom this way. So I'm going to sample this green color, go in and start drawing little leaves. Now, say I don't like the placement of this. Like, I like my wreath, I like how it looks, but I just don't like it where it's placed. I'm gonna go up to the top left to this S icon, and this is where you do a lot of the transformations and adjusting of shapes and things like that. I'm gonna go to freehand, and I'm going to select just the area that I want to affect, and then I'm gonna go up to the little arrow, tap that, and now I can move this shape around. I'm free to move it. So I'm just going to center this here and make it a little bit bigger. And now my wreath is exactly where I want it. You can tap the arrow again to get rid of that clipping mask. And I'm going to add a couple little berries to this. Alright, so now I've added a few little berries, and I want to do a little 3D Shima Naga sitting in the wreath. Now I want this nail specifically to be a little bit of a like transparent nail, so I'm actually going to go to this layer and I'm going to turn on Alpha Lock, and that's going to make it so I don't color outside of the lines on that specific layer. And I'm just going to color this in just with like a slightly darker gray. That way it looks like it's so it's not so stark white. Because now I can take my pure white and go in and draw my little Shima Naga. From the front, he really is just like a little puff, like a little head coming off. Some little gray wings here on the side. All right, and then I would just make a note to myself. I'd go back to my writing layer. I'm just gonna make a little note that I want this nail to be potentially sheer or shimmery. And then I know I want one of the pinky nails to be this like iridescent textured line work. So maybe I'll just be here for now. And I think I want to do it like this green color. So let's paint the base. Again, make sure it's alpha locked. You know what, actually, maybe we go with this shimmery green, which I think in real life it is leaning a little bit more yellow. So let's take that down here a little bit. And I'm going to take a lighter green even. I'm just going to do some lines. And I'm going to take a darker green and add some shadows here. Okay, and so this will be our textured iridescent nail. Then I think here I would want to do the plaid nail. So I'm going to take the same green color. Get on this first layer, and I'm just going to color in this nail. And I think that I want this to be a shimmery cat eye. Now to indicate cat eye, I do use a texture brush. It's actually under the spray paints, and I'll take the flicks here. And I will lower the opacity, pick a lighter color, and paint, it's a little too low, over. And you get this like speckled effect that kind of looks like glitter. It's not perfect. You could probably download a glitter brush. Honestly, that's one of the nice things about Procreate, is that there are so many brushes out there that you can download. I'm just gonna leave that for now. I'm going to indicate that I want to do plaid over this, probably with a darker green. So let's take this color, deepen that green. We're going to go in with a straight edge brush. That's a good thickness. I'm gonna lower that opacity. And I'm gonna do my stripes. I'll do like that. Let's see. Maybe that. Then I'm gonna go with a sketching brush and I'm going to pick up pencil because I actually think I do want to do some colored pencil art. Yeah, I think that would be kind of cute. And then maybe, I'm trying to think, do I want to go into gold accent? Maybe. See what it looks like. So for gold, to do chrome looks, I'll go in and take like a nice deep gold color. I'll add another layer. Clipping mask this down again. And I'm gonna do my lines. And then with that shape, I'll actually take this layer and I will alpha lock that one as well. I'll take a lighter gold color, add some highlights to the edges. Keep adding some highlights within those highlights. Now I think those highlights to me just makes it look a little bit more like chrome. And then I think for the ring finger, we'll do the little paw prints. So I'm gonna go back to our first layer. Go a little bit gray with the background color, I think. A little bit lighter than that, yep. And to indicate the like acrylic design on top, I'm gonna take stark white, go back in with that airbrush, and just over it. Just to get some texture. And then we'll take a deeper gray even. So I'm gonna add another layer just because in case I mess up. I think I want the tracks going this way, so I'm just gonna add a little line so I can guide my little feet. Okay, so we're gonna delete that line. Here's our little tracks. I don't know, I might edit it when I'm actually painting them, but for now that's good. And then for this nail, I want to do like a bigger Shima and Naga and do like 3D. So I think I'll do jelly base. I'm gonna take this color down. Too dark. So this will be like a syrupy white maybe. I might actually draw on some twigs and do some little berries and then some leaves. Let's do some leaves. And then I'm gonna do my little Shima and Naga. Ooh, it would be really cute if I made him flocked, so I'm gonna leave myself a little note about that. 3D flock. Question mark. Okay, so this is our first hand. I think I like it. I also think I need to kind of see it like on a nail because right now, I don't know, I'm not so sure. I'm thinking I might actually end up switching this nail with something else. Now that I'm looking at it, yeah, I think I will go ahead and move that now, actually. Now to duplicate this nail, I'm gonna go in, select any layer that has part of this design on it. So this one has a little Shima and Naga. So I'm gonna go to my transform option. I'm gonna freehand select around this guy. I'm gonna copy paste. What that does is it gives me a second version that I can move around. So I'm going to transfer that over here to this middle fingernail. And I'll leave him there for now. Go back to that under layer, select it, copy paste, move that over here. Just this guy. I do think I actually want him bigger, so let's make him a little bit more chunky. And now we've duplicated our nail successfully, so I can go back to this layer and erase them here, and we're all set. Because I think what I want to do on this nail is actually do some like large molded 3D holly. I'm gonna do just some leaves here. And I'll do some big holly berries here. Now do them 3D, so I'm gonna add some shadows just around the edges. And some highlights. The leaves too, I would want to do in 3D, I think. So just adding a little bit of shadows here. Yeah, I think I like that better. Just looks a little bit more cohesive without too many birds. So for this hand over here, I'm going to incorporate the plaid, but I think I want it on this nail instead. And then maybe we'll do, yeah, just like a little dark red line. Go back to that red color. Oh, too thick. Much too thick. That's better. Lighten this red up just a touch. Yeah, I mean, I think that looks cute. We'll see on the nail though. We'll see how it turns out. By the way, if you want to make a straight line, I'm fine with this being messy. What you can do is you can draw your line and then just hold it, and it'll actually make it completely straight as long as you hold that end and let go. So again, to make a super straight line, draw your line, hold it, and it'll straighten it out for you. And then you can pivot this to angle it however you want, but that's just a tip. Draw, hold, and it'll straighten it out. But I don't mind it being messy here for this design because I am just sketching. And then I think over here for the thumbnail, I want to do this like frosted iced look. So we'll start over here. Instead with a blue background though, we'll do green. So let's take this deep green. We're going with an airbrush. So let's recolor this. Not so stark white. Let's take that green, our airbrush. Work that into the center first. And then deepen it up. Center, and then maybe around some of these edges here. And then let's base it off of this image here. So we'll do a little branch. Do some little small berries. Okay, so I took a little bit of a break and I finally have the design finished. I decided to go with a little Happy Holidays script writing, maybe do a shimmer ombre in the back of the ring finger. That was the last nail I had to design, and here's what I'm left with. I do think I like the design. I think I would like to see it actually on the nails to really be able to decide. Right now they're looking a little bit flat because I just drew the design pretty basically on Procreate. But for me, it's just a way to get my thoughts out, get organized before I go into the set. and I make a lot of mistakes and have to redo nails. And I really try to follow my rule of twos for this design. So, I've got my 2 accent nails on each hand for the green. I also have 2 bird elements on each hand. I have 2 red accents, 2 berries per nail just to pull things together. I'm going to have multiple textures to work with, so far more than 2. I also went in and I added the different names of the artists who I pulled these inspo pictures from. Again, I just like to give credit where credit is due as much as possible. So yeah, that's this design board. And then I did go ahead and design one other that I want to show you. So here I did a claw nail version because I couldn't help myself. I really had this idea in my head of like frosted snowy claws, and I thought it could be really cute to do the design in like a more elegant claw version. So here's what I came up with. It will be a one-hand design because claw nails they always take me forever. So I have my side view and my top view. My thought is to do the Shima and Naga on the thumbnail and just do him sitting off maybe to one side, do some sort of like marbled nail, ice nail underneath, and do the branch that he's sitting on, maybe a couple of the berries. Then for the pointer finger, I want to do that like frosted look, but with a green background to tie in the green theme. Maybe do a couple little like 3D snowflakes as well. For the middle finger, I would love to encapsulate like a branch with some of those holly berries. So I would sculpt some 3D holly berries. I would somehow make a branch. I'm thinking of like wire possibly coated in some gel paint, and then sculpt some leaves too, and just fully embed that in a clear nail and then go in with some snow around it. I think that would look so cool. For the ring finger, I thought again, do some like fancy script on the surface of the nail and then maybe embed like some lace for just a little elegant lacy moment. Or I could potentially even do like some snowflakes again to tie those two things together. But I thought of the lace because for the pinky finger, I wanted to do the plaid texture on both sides of the claw nail. I think that could look really cool. And so the lace would just tie in that textile theme. Again, for my rule of twos, trying to have like 2 fabric textures, 2 red accents, 2 green accent nails, and then 2 of the berry theming. So yeah, I'm actually very keen to try out this design. I would love to hear which ones you guys would like to see. Do you like the cuter version? Do you like this more elegant claw nail version? Let me know down in the comments. It'll help me decide which set I want to focus on. I might actually end up doing both of them, but we'll see if I end up posting them both. That might depend on what people vote on. So yeah, let me know which one you like more down in the comments. Alright, so that was the tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. I am by no means an expert on Procreate. I really only am self-taught. I do have a background in Photoshop, and so it was a little bit easier for me to get into Procreate, but I understand that it can be quite a daunting program to open up for the first time. So I hope my tips are helpful for people who are just beginning. If you all have any tips who are more seasoned in Procreate, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I love having a community that is just so willing to help each other out. And speaking of which, I do have a Discord. So if you would like to be part of that, that will be linked below as well. Along with my nail art templates, so all of the ones that I showed, again, are free to use. I have them in just a Google Drive folder. I just ask that you tag me if you post them anywhere, that way I can see what you all are designing. And if you'd like to support the channel, I do have all of my affiliate links below as well. I really appreciate whenever anyone uses my codes. I'm also currently trying to start a new series where I break down different nail designs. If you've seen Shop House Nails on Instagram, her Deconstructed Design series, I want to do something similar. So if you have any single nail designs that you've been trying to figure out how to achieve, please feel free to submit them. That link is down below as well. But I really appreciate everyone being here watching today. I hope you are having a wonderful day wherever you are, and I will see you all for the next one. Bye.